listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar, the top-rated DFS tool set and #1 companion for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo Daily Fantasy. Go LineStar Premium now at LineStarApp.com. Now, here are your hosts, fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and Chris Meaney.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and welcome to On Deck right here on the LineStar app. It is me, it is Chris Meaney. We're talking MLB DFS, and we're talking about the three amigos because the LineStar app experts went 3 for 3 on the home run calls last night. In case you missed it, Aaron Judge was out of the lineup, so at the very last moment, Chris Meaney ran to the computer and was able to type in Stanton, give me Stanton in the home run call. And in that fury, he was correct. I was also correct with Aaron Hicks and our boy Ryan Humphreys, Nitro DFS. By the way, you should be following him at Nitro DFS because Ryan is spectacular. His football write-ups last year were amazeballs. His baseball work is outstanding, and he was right as well. So look at that, 3 for 3. Chris Meaney, we're at the top of the mountain right now, my friend. We are king in the north.
Yeah, we really are. Shout out to Ryan with the girl call. I mean, that's fantastic. But
I mean, Gurriel, come on, yeah, Ryan. That's
absolutely
not even fair anymore, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you should get 2 points for that one. That was phenomenal. By the way, he's just on a heck of a run as well, girl. Like if you own him, if he's available in season-long formats, I think he's a great ad. He struggled early, but ever since the call up, he's been really good. Dual eligibility all over the place. I love some of the feedback. Like our boy Matthew Cohen is just great. Like he had me in stitches last night, like in caps. Hicks, a 3-run bomb. Like he tweeted before his lineup. He's like, I got Hicks and I got Stanton because he saw the tweet from LineStar with the home run calls a few minutes before lineup lock. So he said, I got Stanton and I got Hicks. Let's go. Hicks, a 3-run bomb, all in caps. Then Stanton, a 3-run bomb, all in caps. And then he gets the Oprah like gif out there. You get a homer, you get a homer, everyone gets a homer. So it's nice to know that, we have some listeners out there who are having some success. And
that's good people. Matt's a big Black Book listener too. I know that. Yeah, so nice. He's part of the Team Black Book. And if you want to be part of Team Black Book, go over and check it out on Amazon right now.
Yes,
I'm telling you, it's the best $14 you're going to spend all year for your football prep. I'm telling you.
For sure.
All the other stuff.
Nothing like it. There really isn't anything out there like it for in terms of that.
It's the
price
most
too,
comprehensive thing that you can get out there, and don't worry, it's not going to be so many stats and numbers. It's a system that works. Yeah. It's well constructed. It's applicable. It's adaptable. It's actually useful. That's where we want to be. Go get your Black Book 2019. That's where we're at. All right, now I want to make sure we give a pop for LineStar app too because I was on the fence. I got it. I think by the end of the conversation yesterday, we were starting to talk ourselves into the John Gray love that LineStar app had. Well, LineStar app crushed it yesterday, okay? Yes. Because John Gray got the W, got the quality start, 6 innings, no earned runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks. He was outstanding. And, of course, in that game, David Dahl home run again. So David Dahl
continues to hit lefties, too.
Yeah. I mean, he continues to rate good. Yeah, and we talked about that and you brought that up, and I said, you know what? Just keep rolling Dahl out there till further notice, and he was good yet again. Unfortunately, and we always take ourselves to task here, Zach Greinke and Clayton Kershaw. This one did not go as planned. A non-quality start from Greinke. He still went 6 innings, but he gave up 4 runs. Both guys gave up 3 in the first inning. Very uncharacteristic of both of these guys.
Yeah, no kidding. Christian Walker. I mean, we did. I think we mentioned him as a standalone.
More than mentioned. He was a big standalone play.
Yeah, but I never expected a 3-run shot from him. But he is heating up. Yeah, that was disappointing. The Braves not getting anything done was disappointing. I mean, that's why they build big buildings in Vegas. I jumped on Atlanta's Road Dogs, and I was a little bit shocked that the Cubs had that team applied total that was so high. They ended up hitting that for sure near the end of the ball game. So that was a little bit disappointing, but we talked about fading Lucas Giolito at that price. I mean, yes, he still got 7 strikeouts in Boston and not an awful start, but still walking a lot of guys, had 4 walks. But overall, CC Sabathia did enough for us and had a great quote after the game. When I'm facing guys like Evan Biggio and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., it's time for me to go home. It's time for me to leave. I've been in the game for far too long, but he was great. I mean, he had 9K, did enough for the W for sure. And Jason Kipnis had another strong game, had a home run from the cleanup spot. So overall, I mean, we sweated out the Yankees early, but they came around. Another 4 hits from DJ LeMahieu.
Look, CC got the W.
LeMahieu?
I know, man. The guys, it's easy to be DJ LeMahieu right now. I can hit lead off in that lineup. I can still swing the bat pretty good. Curveballs still give me problems, but you throw me a couple fastballs, I guarantee you I can still at least be decent. I can hit like 210. I feel like I could definitely hit 210 in the major leagues. I think that's possible.
I mean, I think he's on an 11-game hit streak. He's got runs in 8 straight, and 5 of them have been multi-run games, and he's got 5 multi-hit games. I mean, he's got home runs over that span too, 3. He's hitting 331. He's just getting on base, and when you get on base of that lineup, there's a good chance you're going to come around and score runs.
And you were all over the Giolito thing too. You were very much in the fade column there, especially on the higher price tag. And the one thing I want to pop out too is John Lester again at home. Brilliant.
Yes,
9 starts this year, 2.42 ERA now. And he was brilliant. 7 strikeouts, no awesome runs. I mean,
against the hottest team in baseball.
Against the hottest team in baseball. And that's why I said, I think as good as he's been at home, I think I got to step away from it. And I think the posture yesterday was, if you're looking for like an ultimate kind of tournament play, it's John Lester because the stats at home have been so good. Now, after this one against the Braves, I think now he's automatic at home. No matter what the cost is, no matter what it is, I think you stay automatic there until it straightens out otherwise, because it is an absolute lock. Now, the Mats and Eflin game obviously got out of control. That got ugly real fast.
Did it ever? So, wow.
But the good news is Conforto, who we talked about the lefties in that lineup. He went yard. Frazier, we talked about. He was hot. He went yard. Todd Frazier looks reborn this year. So maybe it was just been a matter of health the last couple of years. Maybe that's all it's been.
You know, it makes sense because he's always been, a home run hitter, right? And you go look at the course of his career. I mean, go back a few years ago, obviously 29, 35, 40, looking at that, and then 16, but he only played half a year. He got traded, to the Yankees at that point. And then, his first year with the Mets, only gets 400 at bats. So, not healthy. This year looks much healthier and hitting for average 271. I mean, that's on pace for the best mark of his career. I don't know if he'll get there, but this is somebody who I know, Joe, you noticed right away about a month ago, 5-6 weeks ago, you noticed some good swings in his approach, moving up the order. And he's been a value on both sites for, that whole time. The last 6 weeks, really, his price hasn't changed.
All right. So that was yesterday. That was a shorter slate. Today's Tuesday. We got a lot more on our plate. So let's start it up. It's a new day. Yes, it is. And let's start with those Yankees and Blue Jays again. Clayton Richard. Now, who's going for the Yankees tonight?
Because I have no idea. It might be a bullpen still. Yeah, it may just be a bullpen game. I mean, not seeing anything anywhere on who's going to start for the Jays or for the Yankees just yet. Even still, they're favored, minus 250 favorites, because they know, like, even if it is a bullpen game, we'll get through it because, our offense will do enough. And I was watching that game, and Sanchez he looked good in the first 3 or 4 innings. And then once you go through that lineup again, a second time and a third time, it's just so tough for any pitcher, especially a lefty like Clayton Richard today.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's going to be another hit fest for the Yankees tonight. So get on it. I know it's expensive on DK. It's less expensive to have Didi and Aaron Hicks, and that's fine. I mean, that's the only sanctuary on DK is Didi Gregorius and Aaron Hicks, who are still very good.
Yeah, Hicks is still 4. What was he yesterday? 3.7. DD hasn't changed in price. It's tough, but you're right. There's some salary relief over on FanDuel if you just want to get a piece of it. Better. Yeah, Luke Voigt, you get a piece.
3.8. Encarnacion's just 4. That's doable. DD 2.7. DD at 2.7 makes Encarnacion at 4 much more palatable, and then you can go 6, 7, 8 with those guys, or even go 6, 7, 8, 9 and get Hicks on the bottom. I mean, this lineup does not quit. I'm trying to remember a lineup that was. It's funny. When I think of lineups that don't quit, even though it wasn't nearly as powerful as this Yankee lineup, it's that old Yankee lineup during the heyday of the core 4, where you had remember when Scott Brocious was like winning batting titles, hitting out of the 9 spot? It's like that. It was like Paul O'Neill and Bernie Williams and Derek Jeter and Posada. It was like there was no safe haven. Now they weren't nearly as terrifying power wise as Stanton and Judge and those kind of Encarnacion, but still, that lineup just didn't quit, and this is the deepest American League lineup I can see in recent memory.
Yeah, same. And it was amazing to listen to the broadcast last night and hear Paul O'Neill talk about this lineup, and then Michael Kay kind of telling him about previous lineups that he was involved in. He says, "No, I don't think it compares when you go and you see maybe an Edwin or a Glaber at 6, 7, and if they're going to go Didi or Aaron Hicks at 9, like they have the opportunity to just rest like they did yesterday. They still hit their total with ease, won the game by a couple runs without playing Judge and without playing Edwin. Like they have the ability to rest 1 or 2 of these studs a game and keep them fresh and just cruise. We may not see the full lineup until we get into August, September, because they can do that.
It's nuts. So look, go right back into the bottom half of the Yankee lineup again. That's where the value is. I mean, here's the other thing too. If you're going to just bullpen with the Yankees tonight or wherever, amalgamation of whatever it ends up being, do you look at guys like Gurriel and BGO and Vlad Guerrero, who are all pretty low cost too? I mean, this right now, I don't even think we have a run total on this game.
No, we
Like,
don't.
until they can name a pitcher, we don't have a run total.
Yeah, and yesterday, I wish I would have mentioned this on the show, but I jumped on the low team implied totals. The Jays are at 3.5, and I think if you can get them at 3.5 again, if you're a prop better out there, I think you jump on that. The fact that they're in New York Yankees, if this is a bullpen game, so yeah, Gurriel for sure. I would take some flyers in some of these guys who hit home runs or fly ball hitters like Rowdy Tellez. Teoscar Hernandez is super cheap. He's got some power in his back, Urchick. But I think Gurriel and Vlad are the two that I feel strongest about. I mean, even Eric Sogard has been really good atop the order, but I don't want to pay that price for him. Vlad's 32 and Sogard's 45. I mean, you take the discount on Vlad.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's move on to the Mets, where it's Walter Lockett and Jake Arrieta. So obviously, we're going to pass on these two pitchers. But I think you'll want to stick with Michael Conforto, who's hot. He's 3.7 on FanDuel. Todd Frazier, who's hot at 2.9. Arrieta is one of these guys that does give up a lot of contact. Pete Alonso's 4.2. McNeil 3.3. So you can get involved with some Mets again. I think it'll be good enough. Certainly, Pete Alonso has some home run upside today for sure in that ballpark, especially. And look at 5.6 right now. You got to pay through the nose. Somebody asked me this question yesterday, and I had a hard time saying no. And the question was, in season long next year, is Pete Alonso a first round pick? I don't know. If you're in like a 15-team league, he might be, man.
Yeah, he really
hard.
might
How
be.
do you say no to? Like, I can't just come out and say, nah, that's not going to happen. But I don't know. I feel like I can't say no to that.
Especially if he finishes the season, 70% of what he's been. So that means at least 40 homers. Like, he's on pace for that. We're at the halfway point.
I told you
he's on pace for over 40.
Terrible second half and still hit 40 bombs.
Exactly. So even if he struggles a little bit and pitchers adjust and he struggles in the second half and still ends up with 40 bombs, yeah, I could make the case for sure. A low end of the first 15 teamer, absolutely. I mean, if you're on the turn, you're probably making it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's madness, man. It's absolute madness. On the Philly side, still, I know they scored some runs last night, but we've seen this before. I'm sorry. I need an extended run out of the Phillies before I'm buying in, Chris.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Right. So
we will say Harper to get moved out of that leadoff spot, but maybe that give him the spark that he needed because
I told you I like that. When they said they were doing it, we talked about that on the show. I thought that was a great idea. They're having problems with the spot. Harper's having problems. Get him an extra at bat every game. Yeah. It's a great idea for everybody.
Yeah, all of a sudden he's on a 5-game hit streak. I know it doesn't seem like much, but if you've been looking at the game log, he hasn't been able to do this for all year. So it hits in 5 straight, a homer over that span, 5 RBIs, extra base hits. So, I mean, keep an see on him for sure. I would roll him out there again today in a tournament.
Well, he's 4.1 on FanDuel, 4.5 on DK. So like a little bit more. See, on DK, there's just not enough space to give a shot like that. And Harper on FanDuel, you can make that argument, but and I know Phillies fans are pissed about it. They're pissed about a lot of things right now.
They should.
We're paying $400 million for a leadoff hitter. Come on, you're supposed to be hitting cleanup. What's your problem?
Yeah, and hitting 251 on the season with 13 homers. Yikes.
All right, let's go over to the San Diego boys, which is a lineup that we like sometimes because sometimes it's awful cheap. And I'll tell you what, tonight I like it because we got our boy Jimmy Yacabonis. And he's pitching against Logan Allen. We got Manny Machado at 3.9, Hunter Renfroe at 3.0, Franmil at 2.8. Franmil at 2.8 in that little ballpark, Chris. I like that. I'm feeling that. I mean, under 3K, come on, it's Franmil.
Yeah, I'm a fan as well. Yacabonis is a contact guy. 83% is his contact rate, and his fly ball rate is 47%. If he had enough innings to qualify, 47% would be top 5 in baseball. Like it would be up there with the Odorizzi's and the Fires and Griffin Canning. So it's not good. It's not a recipe for success at Camden Yards. A guy that gives up fly balls.
I'm sorry, I almost had a stroke.
Fernando
Tatis is 5.7 on DK today.
I know. He's gotten to the point where you just have to fade that. It's like Austin Meadows. When he got up near 6, you fade him. And what Meadows had done is he went on a cold streak.
Did he ever?
Yeah, and I think he had a homer over the weekend, but he really, if you look at the last 2 weeks, he's been really cold. So when guys get up this high, it's like it's really hard to pay for them. But going to the LineStar app in terms of stacks, like there's a couple. The first 3 are extremely chalky, and we'll go through them. One was obviously the Yankees, But the next tier is San Diego, and they're affordable. And they do love Tatis. They love Manny Machado. They love Renfroe. Those guys are expensive. But I think you take the shot on Reyes.
You take a shot on Reyes. I would even take a shot on Naylor, to tell you the truth. Naylor's got some real power.
He
And
really does.
I mean, you could go that route too. You can go on the cheaper side of this stack. You can go with I don't want to get involved with Will Myers right now. I'm just annoyed. That's just me personally because I have a lot of
season. He should be like 3-1.
Yeah, but he's only 2.7. Naylor's 2.5. Franmil's 2.8. You can get involved in this grouping that has some upside, and that allows you to go to the middle of the order of the Yankees.
Well, the FanDuel pricing is ridiculous, Joe.
Oh yeah, I want all in on the FanDuel pricing on San Diego today. Do you want in on Logan Allen at all? I know I'm just going to ask the question as a secondary pitcher tonight because you think he's a lock for a win at 8.
Yeah,
I think he's.
I just feel like. Yeah, I think he's a lock for a win too. I could get involved, in tournaments. I was thinking his price would be a little bit cheaper. I thought he'd be in the 7s, but I don't mind it if you want to go him and Scherzer. I mean, that you could still get things done if you want to go that way. I don't feel great about him being my 1, but I don't mind him as a 2 in tournaments. I think San Diego should score some runs today, and he should get the W. He was impressive in this first outing.
Yeah, I agree. I think Logan Allen has some love tonight, and the ownership's going to be low. I'm telling you right now, ownership's going to be super low there. All right, let's go to Shane Bieber, who I love tonight. He's 10-8 on DK, just 9-8 on FanDuel, so $1,000 difference there. Bieber's been very consistent with the strikeout rates. He's got a good opportunity tonight against Glenn Sparkman, always taking his time out from running his nightclub down in South Florida. Welcome to Glenn Sparkman's, okay?
Big week in Cleveland.
What's your thing? What do you like? I got a girl for everything you like. What do you like? I don't know how Glenn Sparkman became like a
staple of the show.
It's just funny. It's just. By the way, where's our boy been? Where's Cabrera? I haven't seen Genesis Cabrera in a while.
Yeah, he got demoted.
He gave up the life.
He gave up the life. It was too much for him to handle, and he just had to take a step back from the spotlight.
Too many dollar bills, too many singles.
Yeah.
All right, Shane Bieber tonight, though. It's hard not to like him. I know Hunter Dozier's back in the lineup. That's positive, but I know Merrifield actually went yard yesterday too. So I'll just take Bieber. By the way, you mentioned it yesterday. Kipnis continues to be hot. I don't know what's going on, but I think you ride the wave. He's just 3K. And second base is tough because you'll see guys out there like Cano who's cheap and you want to go there, but he was another 0 for 5 yesterday. I mean, this is another one where second base isn't great. Altuve's finally back, so you get a little bit of a bump there. Merrifield's around, but there's not a lot of options. The thing is, on DK, you got to pay 4-1 for Kipnis now. Not on FanDuel, just 3-0.
Yeah,
so FanDuel does not care about Jason Kipnis' hot streak.
No, they need to look at the back of his baseball card and look at the last 10 games. I don't know what's going on with him either, but this guy he's moved himself up to the cleanup spot like you've mentioned. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multi-hit games in the last 2 weeks, 12 RBI, 4 homers. He scored a run in 9 of those 11 games. So yeah, he's feeling it right now. So I think you plug him in on FanDuel as like a standalone guy, a cash saver with some upside.
All right. Speaking of cash savers, I want to talk about Bobby Bradley, who's a young first baseman there. He's been in the system a while. He's only 2-2 tonight on FanDuel. If he plays first base, he's got a good matchup against Sparkman, who's basically a AAA pitcher anyway. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, there's another lineup builder at a utility slot you could throw in there and just go up to everything you want. And he does offer, he was red hot at AAA. He strikes out way too much, but he's one of these guys that I think
power.
Well, I think the power and the short-term guys are just going to challenge him with a fastball right away because that's what most of the time happens. And I think he's going to eat them for breakfast until everyone realizes just throw this kid breaking pitches. So if you're in a spot where 2-2 right there, and even, you know what, I'll throw it out there too because on DK he's 4. Oh, suck it, DraftKings. You can suck it. That is ridiculous.
Isn't it?
4K already.
It's almost like DraftKings takes these trendy guys, these guys who are called up and who, because if you look at the minor league track record, you're right. He strikes out a ton. And I think you're dead on with the approach, and guys are going to challenge him. And then all of a sudden they're going to realize, let's just throw him some off-speed stuff. 130 home runs in the minor league since 2015. Like, I don't care where you play your minor league ball. When you're hitting 25 to 30 home runs every single year, you have pop, and he has it. I was shocked to see his price over at the Quant Edge. His projection was super high because of his first game and because of some of his track record. I had to like temper expectations a little bit myself. But on FanDuel, you play him. You play that at 2-2. He's a free square.
free square with power, free square power that nobody knows against a AAA pitcher. He's at home. There's so many good reasons to take that free square. All right, now the opposite of a free square tonight is Max Scherzer at 12-2.
What do you do here? Do you pay?
Oh God, I mean,
he's the man. Scherzer's the man.
He's 12-4. You know, it's funny. The last time you went out there, right? I don't think we had a show because I think it was a Wednesday when he broke his nose.
We were unsure if he would, and we were just like,
well, remember the last thing I said to you?
Broken nose.
I said, if he pitches, you watch. He's gonna throw like a no-hitter. He's gonna be because he had that extra day of rest or whatever. Yeah. And it was his highest fastball velocity of the year, Chris.
He's such a beauty. I love everything about Scherzer. Yeah. I love how competitive he is. I love how fired up he gets. I love how consistent he is. 146 strikeouts in 106 innings. He's hit the double-digit mark in 3 of his last 4 against solid teams too. Like he had a 15K outing over there, 4 outings ago against Cincy, and really it's been 3 or fewer in every start, but 2, and that's consistency. So I don't know, man. I don't know how you can ignore him. If there's one thing to say negative, like he's faced Miami twice this year, and once he gave up 6 runs, and another outing against Miami, he had only 6K through 6, but like whoop-de-doo, he only had 1 run. Like he was fine. But you're going to need him to get double-digit strikeouts.
Well, that's the thing.
He's going to need to hit.
See, the thing is not what I think of Scherzer, it's what I think of the price. That's the thing. It's like the return on investment. He has to have a number 1 big-time Scherzer game for 12-2. And I think it's doable when you have guys like Bobby Bradley and Jason Kipnis floating around. You get a lot of cheap one-offs. It's totally doable. You want to do that tonight in cash? I think you can make it work. You need some of those offensive pieces to show up, but I think there's some better options.
I think you nailed it. I think it's a cash play.
It's a cash play only.
Yeah.
I don't think you can have enough bats tonight to compete with the Yankee bats and some other things going on tonight.
Yeah.
It's too much. All right, let's move on. I mean, anything else there from this game that pops out to you?
No, that's
it, Trevor
really.
Richards.
Yeah.
I mean, Soto, maybe.
I have a little bit of respect for Trevor Richards. I think he's a decent pitcher. He doesn't give up a lot. So this game has like a 3-2, has a low scoring feel to it. I don't want to really get involved in any bats.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Eaton at 3 is a decent value, but
it is.
But I like him in the in that 2-hole between Turner and Rendon. That's a good spot. But all right, let's move on there. Jesse Chavez and Jordan Zimmerman. The battle of the 5K pitchers on FanDuel. Your thoughts on this one? Nomar Mazara has been red hot. I would continue to roll him out there. He's only 3.6 on FanDuel, so they haven't really caught up to him either. He's 4.6 on DK. And Joey Gallo back? Is this true? Could it be?
Well, the Texas pod, the hit show over at The Athletic that I'm a part of, just producing.
Only because you're a part of it producing it.
Only because I'm a part of it producing. I would never have heard about Gallo, but they did say that they expected him back this week. So that is possible. Jordan Zimmerman is a guy who gives up a lot of contact and is a guy who gives up a lot of power. And even in Detroit is a good ballpark for him. So I'm not surprised to see the team apply total at 5.2. And if Gallo does get confirmed in that lineup, that'll jump up. That'll go up to 5.5, 5.6 or something like that. So I think you're dead on with Mazara. Why would you fade away from him, especially the weekend he just had? I mean, sometimes it just takes a little bit of confidence against mediocre pitching to get going, and it's going to continue this week against, a series in Detroit against that pitching staff. So I think Mazzaro's is definitely worth it. I think Chu is worth it. And if Gallo gets in there, why not? In tournaments, absolutely. I wouldn't play him in cash, but I'd play him in tournaments.
No, I agree. And nothing for me on, I'm going to pass. Thank you very much. Even though it's Texas, it's Jesse Chavez, I'm going to pass. Sorry.
I'm streaming Chavez in a league, but I'm super desperate. I don't expect a whole lot from him. If he can go 5 and get me a W, I'll be fine. But he's only gone 5 once this year, and it'll only be his 5th start.
Okay. Let's go. Speaking of desperate, Carson Fulmer, who has a reputation of walking the house. This guy was a big time prospect once upon a time.
Was he?
The MO on him was always control, walk too many guys, always has. I think that's a dangerous thing. And this is why I'm starting to say, the reason why I'm not so bullish on Scherzer tonight is because there's other options like Price at 8-1. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And that dog's going to hunt against Carson Fulmer tonight. Sorry. I don't care if it's chalk. I mean,
the number 1 value on the board, according to LineStar.
LineStar loves him. LineStar, I swear I'll never second guess you again. I mean, I don't very often.
No.
But I was kind of well, it was the strikeouts with Curry. I was kind of like, I just don't know if San Fran's going to give him but he got the 6, and that's all that matters. So they were right. So to me, it's David Price tonight. Carson Fulmer, I'm all for that. Devers at 3.6 on FanDuel. Love that left-handed bat against Carson Fulmer. And anybody who walks. So anybody who's got a good plate discipline tonight against Carson Fulmer is going to be on base and make things happen. So, Chris, I will pose the question to you. of all these guys in the Boston lineup, who's your favorite return on investment with that in mind?
Yeah, from the DraftKings side, I mean, it may be Jackie Bradley Jr. honestly, because everybody else is like 5. I mean, Mookie's 5'3", JD's 5'1", Devers is 5'4", Bogarts is 5'3", Benintendi has struggled. He's not doing anything. He's a ground ball hitter, and he's 4'9". So Jackie Bradley, if you look at the last 2 weeks, has actually been pretty decent. He's making better contact. He's hitting home runs, a lefty bat, like you mentioned. So I think it's Bradley. But if you go over on the FanDuel side, I mean, you could really, make a case for any of these guys. I mean, Benintendi, I mentioned he struggled 3.5, but Devers at 3.6. I think you just spend the extra 100 to get him in there. And then again, Jackie Bradley at 2.8. That's how you get involved with Yankee bats or other expensive bats here in Boston or the Padres like Machado or whatnot. So that's where I would go.
All right. So Atlanta, they ready to bounce back tonight with Max Fried against Adbert Azulay?
Yeah, I would go back to them just because you don't see them, scuffle too often. So I would, again, more so on the FanDuel side, like Josh Donaldson at 3.3, I think
that's what stared me in the face. I was looking at the same thing. And Albie's at 3.4 too.
Been better. Yeah,
Albies against the righty.
Guys have been good.
I always prefer Albies on the left-handed side. I think he's more power there. I just think he's a better play there. And you can go down with Albies and Acuna again. It's perfectly fine. There's plenty to like there. Blake Snell taking on Kyle Gibson. Now Snell hasn't been his old Snell self, but the Snell price has stayed Snell price. So 9.2 on FanDuel and 9 flat over on DK. Here's the funny part. The Twins have struggled. Snell struggled. So is this the perfect opportunity here to go with Snell? Is it the perfect opportunity to go a little oppo with Kyle Gibson? Or do you just walk away and pretend this game isn't happening?
It's funny. I was thinking at first Snell you later, but when you brought that up, the Twins are struggling. And Snell is really struggling. Like,
he needs it in the worst way. He really does.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, he's got 8 walks in his last 2 outings. But the thing is, like, I like it from a contrarian standpoint. I think that's a good theory to roll him out in a tournament against a struggling Twins team that people may not realize have kind of scuffled over the past 10 days or so. Like their offense hasn't been the same. So I could get behind maybe one share in tournaments, but I could also get behind going with these Twins bats, like, because they don't strike out. Snell has walked 8 guys in his last 2. I mean, that's the one negative that he has, even looking back at last year, is he walked some guys. So I would take a look at a couple bats that have just hit lefties really well this year and over the course of their career. And that's CJ Cron at 3.4 on FanDuel and Nelson Cruz at 3.6 on FanDuel. I think those are 2 tournament options I want to get involved in. I wouldn't be shocked if they had some success against Snell. But from a tournament standpoint, why not? It's just he's pretty expensive. That's my one thing. You're right. You're not getting that discount that we probably should get.
I wonder if my struggles. I wonder if you like it more where there's 2 pitchers involved. So if Snell is just okay, then you can come away from it. When he's the standalone, that's where I have a little bit more of a problem because it's really very. I just when you have guys like Scherzer and Garrett Cole, who we'll get to in a bit, and David Price with that matchup. It worries me as a standalone. I just don't think he is the difference maker with the price tonight as a standalone pitcher. But on DK, I kind of get it as a pairing because I think the ownership will be low because he hasn't been good. And the Twins, again, your first notion was to Snell you later, right?
Yeah.
So I think you have to look at that. And that's most people's first instinct. Therefore, you should give it a little bit of more time and consideration because the Twins have struggled a bit lately, and that's normal. All right, this one's got a lot of offense in it. Marco Gonzalez and Zach Davies in Milwaukee. I know everyone's going to be on the Milwaukee side. I want to be on the Mariner side because I got a ton of lefty bats. I want all over this. And I'm telling you, I want Domingo Santana too as the righty bat. I don't care. There's just everybody. I think all the attention is going to go to Milwaukee. And that's where the cost is also for the most part. I mean, there's a lot of expensive pieces there. But on FanDuel, actually, I think they're pretty, reasonable. Even guys like Kyle Seager, 3-1. There's a lot you can get away with here. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I like it. It's a good call. I mean, they just had a weekend series. I know it was Baltimore, but they just had a weekend series where, they won 3 or 4. They had 10 runs in one game, 13 on the Sunday game. I mean, you've been all over JP Crawford as somebody to keep an eye on moving up the board. I mean, he went 4 for 4 on Sunday. He had 3 hits on Friday. He had
speedy little guys
that
are cheap, Chris. They on FanDuel pricing, they just they just rack up points. You
Yeah,
know,
him
I
and
don't care
Malik
what they
Smith
look
were
like.
they
Yep.
were great that weekend. They were getting on base. They're making things happen. So absolutely, Zach Davies is not somebody that I love. I think he's due for some regression. I mean, when you strike out 5 per 9 and you have an ERA that's 3.06, you're getting a little bit lucky. He's given up a ton of contact, 83% contact rate. Look at his fly ball rate is at 36%. His hard hit rate is at 35%. So both sides, I think you're right. People will run to Milwaukee. I mean, their LineStar app loves him, and they should as a stack. But I think the underrated cheap stack is Seattle. You want to play a tournament with Scherzer, who people will shy away from because of the price, and get low owned bats. I mean, get a couple Seattle
Well,
bats mixed in
also
with
we know
Scherzer.
sometimes the Milwaukee Bats sometimes do struggle against left-handed pitching. I
Yeah,
mean, Marco Gonzalez has shown us before a couple times where you get those lefties and it's like, oh, that's not bad.
yeah.
He shows up there and he kind of ruins everybody else's night. Let's talk about Garrett Cole. He's at 11.5 on FanDuel. I think a good fade from Scherzer if you don't want to go all the way. He's hosting Pittsburgh tonight at home. That lineup has been reinforced, which is good because you got Altuve back there, 3.9 over on DK on FanDuel. He's 3.8. That's, looking at this, I think that against Trevor Williams, this is a lock here. I think it's a lock for a W for Garrett Cole. I would expect 8 strikeouts in this one for sure, somewhere in that range. And look, even guys like, Jordan Alvarez, there's another stack tonight. And this is why I think you got to be careful of the Snell kind of things, because Houston is in play. The Yankees are in play. The Milwaukee, Seattle group, that's always in play, obviously, in that ballpark. So I think there's a lot going on here. What's your take on this one? Are you with me and Cole and the Astros is hard?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. And don't even
Okay.
really need to say anything else. Cole is. You're right.
I
I'd
mean,
play Cole. He's a
Cole's
great pivot.
basically Scherzer. I hate to break it to people, but look at the strikeouts. Like, he's basically the same guy,
Yeah,
and you're
they
going to
him
get a
much cheaper.
$700 discount, right? So what's the point? Jack Flaherty at home is a guy that we've always pointed to. The home numbers have been very good. I know you've been frustrated with him on the road. I know, Meaney. I know, and rightfully so. Last time out, I said Jack Flaherty was a lock for 40 points. Got 40 points without
What's
the
he going to
W.
do today? I want to hear. What's give me a point projection for Jack Flaherty?
I'm going to give you Jack Flaherty 45 because I think he gets the W here tonight against Chris Bassett and the A's. And I say this because he has been that good at home. And I really, even though I think the Cardinals have scuffled, I love this price at 7.9. This is another guy to dance with in tournaments over. I mean, he's a 7.9 on both sites too. So why Chris Bassett is 9.3 on DK? I'm
right.
DraftKings today, seriously, between the Bobby Bradley price and the Chris Bassett price, you're drunk. Go home. Go home, DK.
Yeah, go home.
So I am actually in on Flaherty tonight.
Yeah.
I think the ownership's low. The matchup is good for him. Like, we love the A's, Chris. We have been whores for the A's for months now.
Yes.
I'm taking a break tonight. I'm gonna pass.
No, it's fair. It's fair too. And they've kind of been a little underwhelming. Like, they're getting 3 or 4 runs here and there, but they haven't been getting those stacks lately. This reminds me of Aaron Nola. When a player or a pitcher like that has top 10 upside in the game, not just on a slate, in the game, gets into that $7,000 range because of a couple struggles, I think you just jump on opportunity. You mentioned the splits, 2.49 ERA at home over 47 innings, and his ERA on the road over 33 is 6.68. So I think you can easily get involved with Flaherty. Somebody asked me if they should pick him up on the waiver wire the other day. Like, that's the
you can pick him up, but you play the matchups because he's been terrible on the road.
Yeah,
so
you
what
pick
him
up and you play the matchups, but you pick him. That's the feeling with him, is what I'm saying. Like,
all right, the other guy that I like a lot too is Madison Bumgarner at 8.2 at home. I love this play here on DK. That's a great pairing. You could put him and Flaherty together, I think, tonight at tournament, and I think you'll be okay because Cole and Scherzer are so expensive. It's hard not to. If something fails there, you're out of luck. But Bumgarner just 8.3 on FanDuel, 8.2 on DK. I think he's very much in play tonight. So I'm going to pass on the Rockies bats. Bumgarner standalone because at home he's a beast. Then you got Stripling and Robbie Ray, the battle of who can get out of the 6th inning, which I mean, Stripling just coming back. I like Stripling, but the question is, he's just coming back. So how much do we like him tonight? I'm going to pass on this one. What say you, Chris?
Yeah, he's a fade for sure. I love Stripling as well, but it's his first start in like what feels like 2 months. So
yeah, I'm going to fade away from that one. And the last one is Andrew Heaney against Tyler Mahle, who, again, at 8.8, this is another guy. There is a lot of pitching value on the board tonight. In really that 8 to 9 range, and then right above that with David Price. I mean, there's a lot of options to go, and that's why I think Cole and Scherzer won't be popular. But if you want to throw a Cole, if you can get a really good offensive lineup together with Cole, that could be a difference maker because I think he has upside for like a 12 strikeout night.
Yep, I would agree with that. I like Suarez. I think Suarez is a good shot against Haney. I do like Haney as a tournament arm, but he's given up home run in every single start so far this year, and which is really strange. The fly ball rate. I mean, he didn't have that last year, but Suarez, we know the struggles, but we know the success rate and the track record against lefties. So I think if you're playing in a late tournament entry, I think you can get involved with him. Is just I would even roll him out in cash. I feel pretty confident against the lefty tonight.
All right, what are you looking for, Chris, when it comes down to the betting lines tonight?
Well, I think we can continue to crush the Yankees by 2. Absolutely. I think there'll be some runs in the Mets and the Phillies game again, so I'll take the over there. I like San Diego on the road. Right now, they're road dogs. I think you can jump on that. Absolutely. Washington, it's a little tough for me to get involved there with Washington by 2. They're just too heavy favorites, so I'll just give that game a pass. I like Cleveland at home with Bieber on the hill. Red Sox at home, I think he can take them by 2 with David Price. I think he can take Texas on the road for sure, and probably the over with Chavez and Zimmerman. What is this, like 2004 with those two guys in the row? And then Atlanta is a bounce back spot. I think he can get involved there. The over in Milwaukee and Seattle. I'm just going to shy away from that Tampa-Minnesota game. But if it goes the other way where Minnesota is getting good odds, I will lean that way with Gibson and the Twins. I like Flaherty and the Cards at home. And then we'll wrap it up with, let's go with the over actually in the Angels and the Reds game. I'm going to take
All
that.
right. Okay, here we go. You ready? Because last night the LineStar crew was 3 for 3. So tonight we got to represent. We got to stay hot. At least one of us has got to be right here on the call for going yards. So I'll go first today. I'm going to go deep in the heart of Texas. I'm going to Houston, and I'm going with Yordan Alvarez, who is going to go yard tonight and help Garrett Cole to a victory against the Pirates. Lock it up. The next Juan Gonzalez is Mr. Alvarez. What say you, Chris Meaney? Who's going yard for you?
So I'm going to go to Camden Yards, and it's not because it's a revenge game. Manny Machado has actually been pretty hot lately, so I am going to go with Manny Machado. Let's just hope that he plays. Like, there's a little Q by his name, but I think it's because of the suspension. So let's hope he plays. If he doesn't play, I'm going to stick inside that series, and I'll go with Renfroe. Like, I think there'll be some home runs, but Manny Machado's my boy tonight. Let's go.
No, Renfroe was on my list too. He was like number 2 or 3 of my possible ones. So
the one thing about Manny, and this could backfire. Machado wants to hit a home run in Baltimore tonight.
Oh my God. And they're going to boo him.
He's going to be trying to do.
It's going to be a big mess. So yeah, that'll be a fun narrative tonight. We'll have a good time with that one for sure. In the meantime, make sure you're downloading the LineStar app and utilizing that as well. Go get your fantasy football Black Book 2019 and follow us on the Twitter machine at LineStar app, at LineStar MLB, at Joe Pisapia 17. At Chris Meaney and at Nitro DFS too, because Ryan Humphrey's crushing it. I want to make sure Ryan's part of this too, because again, we are your full service DFS, baby. You can spend 45 minutes a day reading stuff on LineStar, taking a look at the optimizer, listening to the pod. You can even do it at the same time, and you can go out there and win some cash and have some fun. And that's what it's all about. So there's nothing left for us to do except step out of the on-deck circle and enter the batter's box and go yard. We'll see you next time, kids.
You've been listening to the DFS On Deck podcast, brought to you by LineStar. Hit subscribe, tell a friend, and stay tuned for the next episode from fantasy baseball experts Joe Pisapia and Chris Meaney.